Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Live Stream. I'm Chris, and tonight I have a special guest with me. I've known Brian for probably, 6 or 7 years now. We have a lot in common. We have a lot to talk about. So tonight I have with me my friend Brian, also known as the Vegan Black Metal Chef. And welcome to the show, Brian.
Greetings, Chris, and viewers of the Vegan Zombie.
It's good to have you here. Let me try to pull something up real quick as we start the stream and people start joining us.
It is good to be here. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear from you. It's been a while.
Yeah, totally.
Last time I talked to you,
a lot of things.
A lot of things have changed. You started out in Orlando, went to LA, back in Orlando. We'll get into some of that.
For sure.
We got some people joining us right now. Hi, Trini.
How do I find the stream?
Go to the YouTube page and then you can share it right there.
I'm okay. I'm on the YouTube page, and I'm looking.
Did I? Vegan Black Metal Chef. I'm gonna share it too right now.
All right. You're going to share it on which platform?
Well, I just shared it over on Twitter, but feel free to share it wherever you feel like it.
All right. Let me see. I got to find it first.
Well, if you go to my YouTube channel, actually, can I just share it right here? I can yeah.
Oh, yeah. Give me a clickable link. That's the easy.
Vegan Zombie 2 live. I think this is it right here. So let me just I'll put it right there in the chat. There you go.
Right.
Welcome to the chat, everybody. I'm here with the Vegan Black Metal Chef. And if I
no, put it in our Skype chat because I don't even see the Let's see
if I can do
stream.
that without. Boom, right there. Does that work for you?
Let's find out. There it is. Okay.
I think.
It's going to give me an ad. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, cool. Perfect.
All right, there we are. All right, so Brian, you have we met on the vegan cruise many years ago. How long ago was that? Like 6-7 years ago already? Time flies.
Oh, at least that's been it's been pretty crazy. Like that's a significant amount of time.
And I don't know, we just hit it off real, we became friends right away. We had a lot in common. You do a similar thing. You kind of have your own little unique twist on performing a vegan cooking show. Mine's zombies, and let's hear what yours is.
Yeah. So for those of you that have never seen it, it's a musical cooking show where I'm in face paint and armor and in a dungeon-like kitchen, and I write my own soundtrack to the episodes, and the lyrics to the songs are the recipes and what's going on, and it's all subtitled in case you don't speak metal. And I have a similar book called the Satanic Spell book, and yeah.
You started out and you posted your first video and it kind of was a viral sensation. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the first episode was the pad thai. Wow, that was probably 10 years ago or so now.
Yeah.
And back when you could actually share a YouTube video on Facebook. And it would actually share, and so that times have changed since then. But I mean, there's way more people on YouTube and doing things now in general. Yeah, I mean, I had at that time, I had said to myself, well, I've been vegan since like 2000 or 2001, and I thought my food tasted pretty good, and it wasn't that difficult to make, and it was really cheap. So I thought it was sort of three things that people thought veganism wasn't. and wanted a way to tell the whole world about it, and ended up making the just making the cooking show I wanted to see, and luckily a few other people wanted to see it too.
All right. And so what made you go vegan back in 2000, 2001?
Yeah, you said when or why?
Or yeah, like what was your reason for going vegan back then?
Oh yeah, so I had a girlfriend in late high school that had went vegetarian, and at that time in high school, I said, well, you know what? I recognize it as the right way to go, but I'm not ready for that yet. So I didn't do anything. And then the first year of college, I looked back at her and I'm like, well, she didn't die. So what the hell am I so afraid of? And I recognized it as like a fear in myself. And it wasn't a fear of anything real. It was just a fear of nothing. And so then I went vegetarian for like 2 months or so, two-ish months. Then I went to this newly formed animal rights group at University of Florida, where I was attending college, and saw a couple videos before the age of YouTube, and said, okay, now I'm vegan.
That's another one of our things we have in common. We both went to the University of Florida, and I think we were there at the same time. We didn't know each other, but
Yeah, I think we might have had a year of overlap or something, right? I was there from 99 to like '02.
yeah, I was there from 2000 to 01. So we were
Oh,
definitely there at the
okay.
same time. That's awesome. We have got a lot in common, you know. So
Hmm.
so tell me how give some more insight about your YouTube show. It just kind of took off
Yeah.
right from the first video, and you just started creating more videos on with your music, your character, and new recipes. And then
Yeah, yeah.
that ended up turning into a cookbook. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. Actually, let me grab one real quick.
Brian's got a really awesome cookbook, and
It's bad form probably to get up and leave your chair, but whatever. So this is
I
the
like your
Satanic
chair,
Spell
by the
book.
way. I like
Oh,
that chair.
this is the finest computer chair one can have.
You were telling me about how you ended up, how that came into your possession. Can you tell that story too?
Oh, yeah. There was this store here in Orlando. I think it was called Liquidation Station or something and yeah, like Liquidation Station. It said it was called wholesale or like liquidation furniture for millionaires. And you could go into that place if you had like 10 grand. You could decorate your place as if you had many $1 million, and for really not that much. And they had these thrones there, and asked if I could get the backing in vinyl, and they said they could, and there it is.
Awesome. All right, so
And,
back to your cookbook here.
Yeah, so this is the Satanic Spell book. It has pictures of every step along the way to how to make everything in the book. And it's got these little QR codes that you can scan, and it brings up a video of how to make whatever it is that you're looking at.
That's
And
awesome.
sort of roughly divided by bastardized ethnicities. Like this first section's Euro-American, and then Asian, and then Indian, and Hispanic and Latino, and so on and so forth. And at the end of each little section, there's a section called the Oracle of Inspiration that if you scan that QR code, brings up the videos on how to make these things that you see, but also I add things occasionally over time. So kind of expands over time.
The other thing I think was interesting. Can you talk about the costume you wear? You're actually wearing chainmail there.
Yeah, totally.
And if
So if for those of you that have never seen it, let me try to find. Sorry about my terrible webcams. The Skype that I'm connecting through is not recognizing my fancy camera capture cards, and so yeah, all that fancy camera equipment, and I'm using like a $30 webcam or whatever.
you have
And
amazing sound, but yeah.
I'm an audio engineer and musician, so I usually get the sound part pretty well. And yeah, so that's sort of what I look like in the videos. And so yeah, I'm wearing this sort of custom made rubber armor and chainmail. And yeah, and people love to say, "Oh, you vegan hypocrites, like wearing that leather armor," and which is cool because that means obviously they can't tell.
And you get to talk about how it was made. So, who
Yeah.
actually fashioned your armor? This is a kind of a interesting story too.
Oh yeah. So it was this leather worker in the fetish scene in Tampa. This a trans chick that just happened, and since she was in the fetish scene, she knew how to work with mediums that weren't just leather. So
It's actually rubber, right?
yeah, it's rubber exactly. It's neoprene sheet rubber, and her name is Lauren, but I'm trying to think of other business names. Synth something. I'm not even sure if she's in business anymore. But uh, yeah.
All right, so I got a little super chat here from Joseph Michael. Joseph, thank you for the super chat. Says, Chris, can I call you Uncle Chris? You can call me whatever you want, but I don't prefer to be called Uncle Chris. So,
Uncle Chris,
Uncle
it
Chris,
is.
yes.
$2 buys you an Uncle Chris.
I will not respond to that.
Uncle Chris.
Brian, the other question. Tell me about your background in music and why black metal music.
Yeah, sure. So I guess I was actually kind of a late comer to playing music in general. I've been a metalhead all my life since like first grade or so. With I think I had Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood and the Skid Row album and
18
some
in life.
Metallica pretty early on in my life. But I was only a musician actually my last year of college, and it was just on kind of a weird whim of my roommate and I went out, and every month we did like a weird thing. Like 1 month we would get golf clubs and go golfing like every week, and then another month we saw this awesome sort of documentary movie called Backyard Wrestling. And so we made like backyard wrestling videos, like which luckily don't exist anymore. And luckily was before the age of like online videos. So yeah.
So that doesn't appear anywhere.
And then another month we went out to the pawn shop and just got guitars and amps just as cheap as we could get them. And I was like, whoa, I like doing this. And so, yeah, but it wasn't until my last year of college that I even picked up a guitar.
Awesome.
And,
Interesting.
So self-taught musician and self-taught audio engineer. And
you do that all on your computer in your studio?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have my guitar stuff here. But so all the guitars, the keyboards, which you probably can't see because the angle, and the vocals and the bass, that's all hand played, and I program the drums.
And so where'd you learn to cook?
Where did I learn to cook? That's actually, I'm self-taught as well with cooking.
Just trial and error?
When I went vegan, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to learn how to make some of this stuff because like if I want to eat good food, I'm gonna have to learn how to cook. And so yeah, I mean, it was really just a ton of experimentation and trial and error and watching any glimpses of restaurants or other things, and sort of put together my own style from that.
That sounds very similar to how I started out too. In the chat, Janelle says, Vegan Black Metal Chef, I remember meeting you briefly at Vegan Mania Chicago a couple years back. I hope to see you at the next one.
Oh yeah, that? Chicago Vegan Mania is incredible. That was actually my very first cooking demonstration ever was at Chicago Vegan Mania. That's also where I met Miyoko Shinner as well, and which she was also on the cruise that we met at, and it's and then I did another cooking demonstration at Chicago Vegan Mania a few years later, and hopefully I'll do another one because Chicago's awesome. Like, I didn't think I was gonna like Chicago, but Chicago's a great city. Like Boston, no, I'm not. Like, Boston's not my thing. But Chicago is great.
We did a couple together at the Albany Veg Fest. We were there a couple years in a row.
Yeah, absolutely.
Were we? I think I saw you at a couple out in LA too. Maybe a vegan, eat drink vegan or something, or.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a few times in LA, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and the vegan street fair. I remember seeing you there. We hung out there.
Yeah.
When we went on, by the way, we went on. What was it? 3 or 4 vegan cruises? I think 3.
Yeah,
and
three.
So 2 of them we went to Caribbean. 1 of them we went to Alaska. Was there one that you stood out more to you than the others?
Oh man, whenever I think about that stuff. Okay, so that, like, first of all, that was my first cruise ever.
Same here. I had never been on a cruise before either.
I had never been on a cruise. I wouldn't call, like, going on cruises like traveling. I would call it like a taste of traveling to see where you actually want to travel to in the future. So, like, what really stood out about those, I guess 3 places. First of all, in the Caribbean, the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas and St. John. That was the it right there. I mean, I'm from Florida, so a lot of the little islands that we would stop at, people would be like, "This is paradise." I'm like, this is like South Florida. But the U.S. Virgin Islands, especially St. Thomas and St. John, that was like the it. Second of all, Alaska. Alaska is like misty mountains, like beauty everywhere. That, like, if you can go to Alaska, go to Alaska. And hike a glacier or something, because I had never seen that many, like, shades of blue before, as in that glacier ice. I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the third one, the it was Costa Rica. In my opinion, I could definitely go back to Costa Rica and spend plenty of time there. I didn't realize that many of those islands are just like shopping malls owned by other countries. Yeah. And like, what was it? What were like Curacao?
Was that the one where it was like, it was beautiful, but then when you looked on the other side, it was just oil refineries and.
Yeah, and like a junkie shopping mall. Yeah. And the other one, what was the one that's owned by the Netherlands? Aruba? Yeah, Aruba is like a really nice shopping mall owned by the Netherlands.
Yeah, I was surprised when we went there, and we walked forever just to get to a beach, but all of the homes there were like protected with these big walls with barbed wire fences and stuff, and stray dogs everywhere. It was crazy. And then the oil refineries. But I gotta say, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but my favorite was Alaska as well. And we actually went off away from the ship, and we hiked up the mountainside. And there's something that you always do every time you see a waterfall. Can you explain to everybody what you do when you see a waterfall?
Don't actually do this, because it's probably not good for you. But I drink some of the water, like, from the waterfalls, and I found that it, like, tastes like what the land around it looks like. And
you do a really nice taste test with the water. You did it in Alaska. I think I have a video of you doing it. I'm like, that might not be such a good idea, but hey.
No, yeah, I mean, at least I don't know of any parasites that I have at the moment.
Yeah, that was a while ago. I think you're good.
Although, and I will say also, I've tried one of those life straw things. Have you ever seen those?
No,
Like, so life straw is like, it's just like this little straw that you can like put into any sort of like lake and river, and it's got a bunch of filters in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so you can like drink
out of a mud puddle.
yeah, exactly, drink out of a mud puddle. And when I first was looking into getting one of these, they're like, "Oh, do you want the one with like the pump on it?" I'm like, "No, I don't want the one with the pump on it. I just want to take out a straw and like drink from the lake or whatever." So the first time I tried one of these, like in the wild, you have to suck so hard and so long through this life straw that you don't even want the water that comes out of it in the end. So get the one with the pump.
Okay, the pump. Yeah, I would say if you're like in a life death situation, you have no energy, you might not even be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean you have to just like my face was red from like
You should do a YouTube video on that. How to use the life straw. Stacy Lim, thank you for the super chat, the $5 super chat with the smiley face. I appreciate that. So we have something else in common on top of all of these other, on top of being vegan, on top of having a cooking show, a unique cooking show, cookbooks, going to University of Florida together. We both did a YouTube show, a cooking show with two different characters that were in the movie Police Academy. I have Bobcat Goldthwait in mine. He plays Zed in Police Academy. And can you tell us who you have in yours?
Yeah, I've got Michael Winslow, who plays Jones in Police Academy, and Bobcat, of course, plays Ned or Zed. I mean, like two of the greatest characters ever.
Now he's got a special talent too. He's the guy that can make sound effects out of anything.
Yeah, he's like the original beatboxer guy or something.
So how'd you get him on your show?
Weirdest little connection of a friend of mine that I used to work with at Sam Ash Music Store. Just happened to be working with him, and he was like, Michael Winslow wants to be. Oh, and he also happens to live in Altamont Springs, which is near Orlando, but I was in L.A. at the time. And he's like, Michael Winslow wants to be on your show. I'm like, is he vegan? And I'm like, I don't think so. And I was like, well, I mean, I really only want people on there that like really want to be on there, that like not like feel like they're forced or anything to be on there. And then he was like, he talked to him again. He's like, no, he actually really wants to be on there. And I'm like, okay, well that's awesome. And so we set that up, and I had my my studio built out in LA at the time at this place called Unfriendly Studios, run by Metal Sanaz, which if any of y'all remember her from the MySpace days, and she's still around and doing awesome stuff.
I visited that place with you, right? Is that the same place?
Yeah. And which is like. It's this warehouse spot in like the industrial truck apocalypse in LA, in this little city called Vernon, which is just south of downtown LA. And Vernon, I've never seen anything like it in my life, where it's just like an entire city of warehouses and plants. Like I think like 100 or something people live there, and it's just warehouses and plants.
Was that? Am I remembering this wrong? Wasn't it walking distance with the Pizzanista where we went to eat, or is that?
That was my music studio. So I had my living studio and my music studio. That was in downtown, like pretty close by there. But yeah, that was in downtown in the Arts District, and but yeah, that's my music studio.
And you lived in Echo Park, right?
Well, I lived in Echo Park in the end, and yeah, before Echo Park, I lived in Vernon.
Okay, yeah, because I think we did a live stream on my channel.
Yeah,
Echo Park one.
Yeah, in the Echo Park place. Yeah, correct.
we did a video. We went shopping at the 99-cent store to see what we could get there, and we got some pretty good stuff. You guys can check that video out too if you want afterwards.
Yeah, I forgot how spicy things are if you don't use oil.
Yeah, you can't take the capsaicin out of it.
Yeah. So for all of you that don't know, oil kills out spiciness. Like if food is ever way too spicy, add some oil to it. So we were cooking without oil, and to try to get some flavor in there, I think I threw in some jalapenos, and those were brutal without oil.
So somebody's asking in the questions, that was gonna be my next question anyway, but somebody says, are you still doing YouTube? I haven't seen any posts for a few months now.
Yeah. So long story short, I moved back from LA to Orlando. My rents were about to skyrocket in LA again. And it was really tough getting things done in LA because I had to have my living spot, which was really small, that I would always build out my video studio in, really small. And my good computer was at my music spot. And so I didn't really have lots of good ways to integrate them. Here, I have a small house in Orlando, and my friend that was renting it just happened to be moving out in February. So I made a fast decision. I moved back here. I just got done building out. Yeah. It does it again. And so videos shall happen again shortly. I'm actually going to be testing my live stream stuff as well when a few more components come in next week. But yeah, no, videos will be rolling again.
Will you be doing the same type of videos, or are you going to do something other than cooking? What's going to be doing interviews?
It's gonna be a mixture of things. I did some live stream stuff and some like interview videos back in LA. But it's gonna be a mixture of things. It's gonna be live stream cooking stuff. I'm gonna do live stream music production stuff. And then I like to go on a lot of little adventures, like paddle boarding in the ocean and all the different like springs and stuff in Florida. So I'm gonna film some behind the scenes stuff of just all the things that I'm into, just on a channel called Brian Manowitz. So all the live stream cooking stuff that's going to be on the regular Vegan Black Metal Chef channel, and I guess similar to your channel, I'm going to have sort of other things on the Brian Manowitz channel.
Awesome. And I remember now that you like going in the ocean. You have a wetsuit and everything, and you actually used that to stay warm when you climbed a mountain up here.
Yeah, after one of the Albany Veg Fests, my first one, I wanted to whenever I go to one of these Veg Fests, it's always a lot of fun to stay an extra day or two and really see the area and see the city. And I really wanted to go hiking in the Adirondack Mountains, but I didn't really have any cold weather things. And so I brought my wetsuit, and they're like, "No, that's not going to work. You're going to die. Like, you need water for those things to work." And people thought that like it traps this layer of water between you and the suit and gets that warm. No. Like the wetsuit keeps you warm despite the water, not because of it. And yeah, it's fantastic. I highly recommend hiking up a cold mountain in a wetsuit. And actually, I had my wetsuit modified after that to put in a zipper fly, so I wouldn't have to take off the whole thing to relieve myself.
Interesting.
Graven Baby says, "Can you share a link of your second channel?" It's just called Brian Manowitz. So YouTube,
Do you have it as a featured channel on your main channel?
Not yet. I'm going to. I guess I don't really have that much up there yet. So it'll be coming soon. Pay attention to the stuff, and I'll share it around.
Nice. The other thing I was going to ask before I forget is you used to actually, if I remember right, you used to teach music at a college?
No. I wish. I mean, I'd only first gotten into music when I was in college.
Did you teach it or tutor it or something at one point?
No. I taught 6th grade science. I was a
that's
sixth
right.
grade science teacher.
Okay.
My degree is in behavioral neuroscience and computer science.
Gotcha.
And so I was a 6th grade science teacher for 2 years. And if you can put up with the stress with that, that is, I commend you. I mean, I loved the actual act of teaching, but everything else that went along with it was like pulling a rock uphill every day.
I'm just putting this up here.
They're endless crazy stories of being a teacher, and
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, besides being their teacher, you have to be their parent, their parole officer, their psychologist, their like
New viewer says I think high schoolers are worse.
Maybe, but you see, you could just tell them to go to sleep and they will. So
my teacher let me go to sleep today.
They not if you turn your back.
Star.
They don't often shank their neighbor with their pencil.
Did any of your students ever recognize you as the vegan black metal chef?
Yeah. No, I mean, no, I was, the vegan black metal chef was far after the teaching, actually.
Oh,
that was, right after I got out of college, pretty much.
Graven wants to know if you like wrestling. Being in Orlando, you're at the heart of the WWE. Live shows, they're only $10.
Whoa, that's well. I didn't know that. That's awesome. I will totally go to them. I watched wrestling. Well, when I was a kid, back in like the Hulk Hogan, like Andre the Giant-ish days.
Same.
And then I stopped, and then I watched it again during like the Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, like Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, like tables, ladders, chairs matches, and which those are still some of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life. People are like, "Oh yeah, but it's all fake." I mean, you can't fake jumping off a 40-foot ladder, doing a flip, and going through someone like into 2 tables. All you can do is hopefully make it hurt less.
Yeah, you can't fake what Mankind did on that high cage.
Yeah, you can't and yeah, I mean, these people like literally put their lives on the line for our entertainment, and that some of it is absolutely incredible. Although I haven't seen a lot of the newer stuff yet.
I actually had a wrestler reach out to me, Lita, Amy Dumas, and she.
Yeah, she's vegan.
Yeah, and she's from Orlando, I think. She's from Florida. She's from Florida. So
gotcha.
Anyway, yeah,
Lita was awesome.
She wore my Vegan Zombie shirt. I sent her a book, and she posted a picture of it. That was pretty cool.
That is great.
The other thing I was going to say before I forget, moving back onto the subject of food. So you were able to live in what I consider the best place for vegans, food-wise, LA. That's my favorite place to eat at. So I know that you've eaten at a lot of different places. What are some of your favorite places to eat there? If somebody were new to LA, where would you tell them to go?
Oh man, see, like whenever anyone asks me that in LA,
it's hard. Isn't it?
It's so dependent on where you're going to be.
Okay, so what if it didn't matter? It just LA area, anywhere in LA. Like, where are some of your favorites?
I mean, there's so many that are like that's the issue. Okay, well, let's see. In Echo Park proper, Actually, I really like this place called KG Bakery, which is not an exclusively vegan place, but they have an amazing vegan banh mi sandwich, like barbecue citrus spare rib banh mi sandwich. It's made with that Vegetarian Plus brand vegan meat. Just really well done, like mom and pop place. I think they've been there forever. Really cool place in Echo Park. A more well-known place would be like Mohawk Bend. That's a fantastic place. What are some different places? I mean, people always say things like Doomie's is great. Vegan Hooligans, absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend all that stuff. Senna Vegan in Highland Park. They're pop up in Highland Park and in other places. Best $7 one can spend in LA is on those nachos.
Yeah.
Nachos the size of a small cat, or actually the size of a large cat.
Yeah.
A place that you won't hear about probably is called Hummus Bar. And Hummus Bar, you might say, like, Brian, it's we are deep into the future. Like why would you eat hummus as a vegan in 2020? And so, but if you try Hummus Bar, it is the most mind-blowing stuff ever. They have this fresh made bread called laffa. They have this like roasted mushroom and onion stuff that they like pile that they put on the hummus, which I know you hate mushrooms, right?
That's right. You remembered.
That is not your thing. But they have another one called hummus mespacha that is like stewed chickpeas and like other things, which are like, dude, hummus is made out of chickpeas. But no, this is like flavored and like and everything like that, and this like this hot oil on the side, and just amazing falafel, and this hot sauce, which I'm going to butcher in the name. It's this like hot sauce doesn't really say what it is. It's this sort of oily green vegetable-y, I want to call it skrug or something. Skrug. It's tough for me to pronounce, but it is phenomenal, like a most amazing flavor ever. So, yeah, Hummus Bar, and there's a little one called the Hummus Bar Express on the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. So whether you're in Santa Monica or the Valley, that's a place no one else will tell you about.
I haven't heard of it either. I've not heard of it.
Absolutely phenomenal.
I agree with Graven Babies. Says, man, I'm getting a hummus craving now. I am too. And Julie wants to know, who is the longest vegan you know personally? When you mean longest, do you mean like who's been vegan the longest? That you
they have personally? The most length.
Well, I think who is it for you?
Who is it for me?
Do you know?
Well, like when I in Gainesville, when I first went vegan, there's this guy that put on veg fests in Gainesville, like way back in the day. I mean, well, back in like 2000-ish. I guess it's not that far back. This guy, I think his name was Chaz Chiodo, and he was like he was actually one of the people that even like liberated some of the animals in a Berkeley lab that you see like the pictures of, like the monkeys with like their eyes sewn shut and stuff, that you still see. And well, he only came out about it after the statute of limitations had passed. But he was a pretty old dude then, and it seemed like he had been vegan for quite some time. So that I'm gonna claim him as probably the oldest vegan that I know.
Well, I don't know if he is or not, but I'll remind you of somebody else that you know. She was from the cruise, and it was summer, and she's River Phoenix's godmother, and she had been vegan for well over 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
that was 5 or 6 years ago. So she's probably like, 45 years now. But do you remember Summer and Tom on the cruise? I'm sure if you saw
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
picture.
of course.
Yeah, and they live down there in Sarasota.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, she's been vegan for a very long time. That might be the longest
And
person, that's the longest person I know.
still not dead yet, eh?
Not dead, not even close.
Maybe I'll die tomorrow, but it'll probably have nothing to do with what I eat.
Exactly, that's what I was saying.
Ugh.
So how are you doing otherwise, and what's going on in light of this pandemic and stuff? How's it going?
Yeah, otherwise, Orlando's fantastic. I had moved back here the very, very, very end of February, or actually really into to March. I got to take a road trip back, which was my first road trip ever. I outfitted my car for sleeping. Excuse me. I put like 6 inches of memory foam in the back seat. I have a Scion XB, and put 6 inches of memory foam in the back, bunch of pillows, sleeping bags. I made some window coverings for the windows. I had a battery operated fan that or rechargeable fan that I could like recharge as I'm driving, basically with a USB.
I remember
And
that.
and then it like just clips onto the back of my seat and blows it works throughout the night, basically. And I took my time and I slept in my car. I slept in Walmart parking lots and Planet Fitness parking lots, and I would shower and get massages at Planet Fitnesses, and it was just an incredible time. I used to hate long distance driving. For example, like LA to San Francisco or Orlando to Atlanta. I would hate that, which is about 8 hours or so. Because I was never able, once, if you have your car outfitted for sleeping, being able to just pull over and take a nap whenever you need to changes the game on road trips.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like it's instead of slapping yourself in the face and trying to sing real loud to try to stay awake, to push it out to the next place that you're trying to get to because you still have an hour and a half or 2 hours to go there, which is ridiculously unsafe. Being able to pull over and like in a rest stop or in a town in like a Walmart or a Planet Fitness and get actual sleep like for a couple hours, you wake up, you feel energized, like you can't wait to rock that again. And see, Anthony J said that he used to sleep in his truck when he did cross country, and like so that changed the game. Sedona, Arizona was definitely one of the highlights on the trip back. It was a little bit out of the way, but 1,000% worth it. I could easily go back there for a week. Just amazing nature. It's like this magical fairyland. And all the nature is like immediately accessible from the main little town. Austin, Texas was really cool. I'd never been there before. Houston was way bigger than I thought. And New Orleans, of course, New Orleans, Louisiana, like absolute amazing.
I'd love to go back there. I haven't been there since like 97. Wayne says, Brian, what's your favorite piece of gear? Any Moog in your setup?
Favorite piece of gear. I got no Moog in my setup. The only synth I have here is my Yamaha Motif. Let me it works. This is my main keyboard, but I mostly use soft synths now. And then this is my main guitar stuff, which I mostly use on Axe Effects, Fractal Audio Axe Effects, but I also have a Kemper. And I've got a Diesel VH4 tube amp, but the Diesel VH4 emulation and the Axe Effects sounds identical, which is crazy.
You got quite the setup in there.
It's it's a small house, but after living in LA, I learned about things like loft beds and other space-saving things, and it's pretty amazing now what you can do with a small place.
Nice. And so, what's Orlando like right now? Are there any vegan restaurants or anything open for at least curbside delivery or anything like that? Curbside
Oh
pickup?
yeah, absolutely. Actually, Orlando is quicker. Wait, let me. Orlando is actually moderately quickly opening back up. I was even able to go to like a locksmith today and get a key for a thing that I needed. And I went out to the beach yesterday in Daytona, which was fantastic. Don't believe all the pictures that people post about like, oh, beaches reopen and like it's just this mass of people. Like maybe you can find one example of that in one spot. But I mean, when I went the other day, it looked like a normal beach day on like a weekday in a sense, where there's a normal amount of people there and you could stay away from each other. What people also don't realize about Florida beaches is that they are huge. Like, they just go on forever. So if there's one spot that has people, you just go to another spot. And yeah, it's not smaller constricted in any way. And otherwise in Orlando, went to Ethos for curbside pickup, which that's kind of a staple. Definitely go to Ethos if you go to Orlando. Some of the best cookies actually you've ever had in your life. Even though I'm not that much of a sweets person.
Is that your favorite place there? Graven wants to know what's your favorite vegan restaurant in Orlando.
Favorite vegan restaurant. See, like when people say favorite, it's such a weird concept, because to me, like oftentimes, if like just one place is just your favorite, it means most other places suck. Which I will say, okay, let's say favorite vegan ice cream place in Los Angeles is probably Magpie. Because probably there's only a handful of runner-ups, and then the rest of them are terrible, or not terrible, but like rest of them are mediocre,
subpar.
Yeah, exactly, subpar. Although now actually Donut Friend makes their own ice cream too, and
they do. That is by far my favorite donut place.
Donut Friend is yeah, exactly. So, but you see, you can easily name a favorite like that when it's not like there's a million other ridiculously good donut places. Other favorite places, actually, best Vietnamese food I've ever had in my life is here in Orlando, Florida. Place is not exclusively vegan, but they have a ton of vegan stuff, called An Hung. And I've been all over the U.S. and a bit over the world now, and it's still the best Vietnamese I've ever had in my life. I guess there's really a ton of places in Orlando, but I haven't really been eating out as much, like with all the stuff going on.
You can't really do that right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Which brings to the next question. Joseph wants to know what would be like an average day of what I eat in a day for you.
What I eat in a day? Well, let's see here. Today, I had a vegan meatball sandwich for breakfast that I had made, like the vegan meatball stuff last night, and it was so like leftover vegan meatball stuff. And I had a ton of boiled peanuts because I had just made a giant batch of Cajun boiled peanuts.
Whenever I hear boiled peanuts, I think of you.
That is a Florida and Southern delicacy, and it's harder to find outside of Florida because you need to find raw, unroasted peanuts. like still in the shell. They can be slightly dried, or even better, like if you get them green peanuts, which means they still have a lot of their moisture content. But yeah. So it's harder to find out of places that grow peanuts. And tonight after we end this, I'm probably gonna make a giant Asian noodle stir fry with tofu.
That sounds good.
So I mean that's like what I'll eat today. What did I eat yesterday? Yesterday I had a bunch of fruit. Actually, I found an awesome cheap fruit place here called Fancy Fruits and Produce. That's akin to like the 99 cents only store that we did a video with in LA. And so one thing I had in LA that I hadn't had until I moved there was like Mexican spiced fruit, where you take like melons and like mangoes and other things, and you drench it in cold lime juice, and you put this stuff called Tajín on there, which is like this sort of chili lime spice powder. And you're like, why the hell would you ruin fruit with spices? And the mixture of the lime juice and that is like is insane.
That sounds really good. I've never had that. And I've also never had boiled peanuts.
Well, next time you come down to Orlando, I know what we're having.
All right, yeah. I'd love to come back down there and visit, so that's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Brian said it. I would love to see it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I'd love to see it too. I'm not sure exactly what.
I think people are wondering. People got in here. If you got in here late, then yeah, obviously you don't know what.
You want to see boiled peanuts? You want me to grab the thing of boiled peanuts to show you what they look like?
Oh yeah, if you want to do that, yeah, go ahead.
Give me a second.
If you're just joining the stream, yeah, you're gonna have to go back and watch the stream to know where he got his chair from and to see why the title says what the title says.
Hopefully you can see this.
You have a really good microphone because I can't hear anything you're saying unless you're right in front of it, which is a
Hopefully
good.
You can see this.
So these are boiled peanuts here, and you made these yourself. These are Cajun boiled peanuts. Could you crack one open for me or no? Do you eat them with the shell on it?
No, you don't eat the shell. So the difference is...
You got to talk into the microphone because I can't hear you.
The difference... now, these are boiled for like 2 days, basically. And this one's cold, so usually you heat them up before you eat them.
So you're continuously boiling them for 2 days, or they're soaking for 2 days?
Yeah, like crock pot, like
okay.
Continuously boiling them for 2 days. And let me crack this open. Try not to get the juices everywhere. Crack this open. Try not to get the juices everywhere. So let me see how.
So it's just a very soft peanut.
Yeah, so it's a super soft peanut that's like infused with like the Cajun flavors, and it's like a soft, meaty, nutty thing.
You could probably just turn that right into like a peanut butter.
Oh yeah, I mean you could. I mean it's so soft already. It's almost like roasted garlic soft.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that sometime. I like peanuts, and I like peanut butter. And I like Cajun.
I can't say they taste. They don't taste like peanuts. I mean, they taste like sort of the brine that you make them in.
Everybody is saying they're so good and addictive.
Yeah, they're incredibly addictive.
Trini, no, he's not eating the skin. He's taking the shell off of it. Yeah,
totally discarded the shell. But people are freaked out when they see this wet peanut thing, and but then if you try them, you will not regret it.
I think they have them at the store, like in a can or something. Maybe I'll try one of those.
Oh yeah, sometimes you can find them in a can, and let me know how they are. Actually, I don't think I've ever had the can. I've only had.
They're probably better when you make them yourself.
Yeah, and you can even get them from like gas stations here, and like really mostly you get them off the side of the road, and there'll be some like old dude in like a wizard hat, and and he'll have this like pot that is 1,000 years old, and it never actually spells out peanuts like spelling the word peanuts. It says P-nut. So
the next time I do come down there to visit, we're gonna have to get a video of this infamous wizard that sells boiled peanuts.
We will absolutely. We will get multiple wizards.
I need that. I need that footage. Deneen says canned boiled peanuts are pretty good. Okay, good for that. Thanks for the heads up there.
I can imagine.
Yeah, do a video on how to boil your peanuts.
Yeah, I shall. I will definitely do a video on that. I mean, really, it's easy. Like, I mean, at the absolute basis of it, even if you don't, there's always two kinds of boiled peanuts when you see them in Florida. There's regular and Cajun, and regular is basically just salt and water.
Salt and water.
And and then the Cajun, basically you just add a bunch of chili peppers, Tony Saceres, Cajun seasoning, some onions, some like fresh bell peppers.
Sounds like that should be maybe your next video. There you go.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Ivlani, thank you for the super chat, $19.99. I appreciate that so much. Ivlani says, loved you guys in the LA video. That was a fun video.
Oh, yes.
I jumped out of the vegan YouTuber's car to meet up with you on the side of the road somewhere in LA.
That is true. Now the like how many like ex-vegan YouTubers or whatever like in that.
There's at least two of them that I know of. There might be another one, but there's two of them. And there's three of them now. Oh my God, I just remembered the third one. So there's three of them. There might be four. That's crazy. Insane. It's more than half.
I mean, if you follow a bunch of insanity, you're going to get a bunch of insanity.
Yeah, so, I agree.
That's what I have to say about that.
Well, what else was I? What was I gonna say here? Anything else you'd like to add to the we haven't talked about yet?
Anything else?
Does anybody else at home have any questions?
So, someone asked a question about my setup. Yeah, I do use a Fractal Audio Axe-FX. I just have the Axe-FX 2. I'd love to get the Axe-FX 3 eventually, but it's $2,000 and the 2 sounds pretty good. So I have a lot of other things in the world that I want to spend $2,000 on. Other than like 2% better guitar tone. And vegan black metal chef should be in the new vegan house. I mean, I guess this is the new vegan house.
For the new vegan YouTube host. New viewer says, how long have you been vegan? So when did you actually go vegan?
Now here's the funny thing. Like then, at least from the people that I was with, it wasn't like a thing to like mark your vegan anniversary or whatever. So it was sometime in 2000 or 2001.
No, I can say like I know mine, but I'm like I remember all kinds of dates from like everything. Like I know people's birthdays. I remember when I did certain things. So it wasn't like I was trying to say like I'm going to remember this day forever. It just I knew it. It was my friend's birthday. I was at Taco Bell, so that's why I know my vegan anniversary.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I only know one person's birthday. I don't even know my mom or my brother's birthday.
What?
I know one ex's birthday, whose birthday is September 11th.
Okay.
And yeah, I am terrible about
let me see if I remember your birthday. Your birthday is in January.
It is.
It's January 29th.
Oh my! Well, that is exactly right.
I have a good memory. I have a really good memory.
That is insane. I cannot remember.
I did not bring that up in any way. I remembered that.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. It's like some people are just good with birthdays and dates and things like that. And yeah, mine was somewhere between 2000 2001. And in the very beginning, like I still ate honey because like I didn't have any like logical reason for it, and then I kept digging into it more, and then I'm like, you know what? I could just cut out the exploitation at the root, and like I don't need to eat the bees honey and stuff like that. And so yeah, I mean, like everyone wants. Well, I mean, maybe in this day, maybe today it's easier to like jump full on into like full like fantastic everything. But yeah, definitely at that time there's the process of the honey, and then realizing that like the vitamin D in cereals like came from sheep, and and like the lanolin, and so yeah. I mean, it's a little like that gradual process, but yeah.
I was actually doing a video on that when this whole pandemic happened, and I kind of like put it off. You know, I'm like not gonna go to the stores now and pick things up and showcase them. So that's something that I'm working on too. But what are some of your go-to foods? Some of your favorite products out there? I know, like like for example, like Miyoko's. Like, what are some of your favorite things that we have today that we didn't have when we first went vegan?
Oh man.
Well,
Gardein stuff.
Is that what you had today? Were they Gardein meatballs?
No. Actually, those are Trader Joe's.
Okay,
so
those are the best.
Yeah. The Trader Joe's meatless meatballs are fantastic and cheap, and you get a decent amount of them, and they're small, so you don't have to cut them in half. And yeah. Those are absolutely fantastic. I guess products that now when I first went vegan, I would say that was right on the cusp of where we started to see some of the modern products that we have now. Like right before Earth Balance, I think I used Fleischmann's Light or something as the vegan butter.
There was a Willow Run too a long time ago that we used to get back in like the 90s. It was the only one that was vegan.
And like and when I first tried Tofutti vegan ice cream, I had this visceral reaction to it that it was just the worst thing I'd ever had. Oh, wow. And I'm like, well, I have to basically just give up ice cream, like never think about it again. And then they came out with Rice Dream, and then Soy Delicious, which is now So Delicious.
Yep.
That like changed the game on that. And then Tofutti came out with like the Tofutti Cuties, which were like incredible. The little ice cream sandwiches.
Have you tried their ice cream since then? Like nowadays?
I mean, just they're like a pint of the like Tofutti ice cream.
Yeah, the one that you didn't like. Have you tried it now?
I don't even think they make that one anymore. Like of like just like original like.
I didn't think they did either, but I found one not too long ago. Vanilla almond bark.
No way.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. I like all the products.
But I'm sure it's not the same, like, because they didn't have any vanilla almond bark or anything like back then. I think it was just like one tub called Tofutti, if I remember correctly.
No, they did, because that was the first stuff I
did.
started. Yeah, back in the 90s.
Okay.
That was what I would eat. Yeah.
And you tried it again and it was good?
Yeah, I tried it maybe a month or two ago, and I'm like, wow, that just gave me nostalgia.
I'll give it a try again. I'll see.
I think you should do a video. If you find it, you should set it up and do a video and say, I hated this when I went vegan. I'm going to try it again 20 years later or something. That'd be a good video.
Yeah, totally. Wow, yeah, I didn't even think that they made that. I think it was just like an original like vanilla or something.
Yeah, the vanilla. It was like a French vanilla. They had a French vanilla that was really good. A vanilla almond bark, and then a few other ones, but the Tofutti Cuties are really good. I like all their products. Do you remember the pizzas they used to have?
No, I don't remember the pizzas.
Wow, they were like the Elio's pizzas. I've never had an Elio's pizza, but the little rectangle ones that you would put in.
I've never had it. I've never had Emilio's either.
And currently, they still have those Tofutti singles cheeses. I don't know if you had those.
Oh yeah. I mean, those are okay if you like melt them in some vegan butter and like a nut milk or something. But
or make like a sandwich or something.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of those initial things are like just not. They weren't convincing people like Beyond Burgers. That's for damn sure.
Right. Graven Babies says, I want to know if Chris has ever made you a pizza. If he did, Was it as tasty as they look? I don't know if I ever made you pizza.
No. Yeah,
Did
I don't think we've ever made pizza yet.
When I was on the cruise and I made the pizza roll, did I make pizza rolls on the cruise? I don't remember. If I did you ever try that? I don't know.
Did you make them, or I guess like the
other people.
I guess the crew might have made whatever they thought was a pizza roll and called it your pizza roll.
They did that with my brownie and they butchered it and they called it the vegan zombie brownie and we were so upset. It was bad. That was so difficult.
But your pizza looks great, though. I mean, I've seen your videos.
Thank you.
And
what's one of your what's one of the things that you make the most out of your cookbook?
I mean, I'm a big fan of Asian stuff in general. I mean, actually, I make a lot of the things out of it. I think I use my cookbook more than anyone else. Just because this was all the stuff that was written down and the videos were made like as I made things the absolute best. So I will go back and like look at something, and I don't necessarily have to read everything, but I could just look at the pictures and be like, oh yeah, that's how I did that. And
you want to show people what it's called again? The Satanic Spell book?
The Satanic Spell book.
And satanic is like Satan?
Yes.
And where can people get that?
Amazon, basically. Go to Amazon. I mean, like, I have no idea how Amazon is selling it for as cheap as they're selling it. When it was the book was we'd sold out of the first print run, or I'd sold out of the first print run, and I gotten a new publisher for the second print run, and I'm like, we're actually going to raise the price because to print these full color hardback books they're expensive, and so we're going to raise them by $5. They were selling for $25 in person, although I was always selling them online for $30 because I had to, and so we're going to raise them to $30. But somehow Amazon buys them from the wholesaler and doesn't care that they're selling them for like 20 something bucks or so, or like in the low 20s or $20.
Sorry.
If you have Prime. So I don't know how they do that model. I think it's just a computer algorithm that's that stuff. And sometimes they sell stuff for basically almost no profit. But I mean, I and the publisher make the same amount, so go get them for cheap on Amazon.
Do you also have that in an ebook fashion or no?
Yeah. There's the ebook. I do have the ebook now. The Kindle version is on Amazon, but I don't actually recommend the Kindle version because you can't click on the QR code. You can't make anything clickable in the Kindle version. So on my website, there's veganblackmetalchef.com. There's a ebook, and that has it's like an ebook bundle with the PDF, the EPUB, the Kindle, and other things. And so I recommend that one over the Amazon one. But the Amazon, if you're going to get the hardcover book on Amazon, the match price is like $2 or $3 for the ebook. So it's easy to throw that in.
And Linda gives me a super chat of $10. Thank you, Linda, so much. Chris, you have the coolest friends. That's going out to you, Brian.
You do. Well, you do have the coolest friends.
Yeah, I get to meet. You know what? And I never would have met you if it wasn't for our YouTube channels.
Yeah.
You know, we had some creative thinking and we turned it into something. And, you know, I've been so many places and I've met so many people just because I thought of this ridiculous concept of a vegan zombie. And I'm sure you did the same thing with the vegan black metal chef, you know?
Yeah, so, it's been a wild journey. Thank you, Sue, for the compliment there. The hardcover book is it's quality and really fantastic. Lots of pics. I love it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I can.
Thank you, Graven Babies.
I have a copy of it myself.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So Joseph wants to know, is music your full-time job?
Full-time job? Not exactly. Although I am coming out with I'm finishing up the mixing now to a 6-song industrial album that about to release in the fairly near future. I've had just kind of a weird mixture of things. I mean, my last sort of jobs in LA were a bunch of like I got into extra work and acting and voiceover, and so I had been doing a smattering of that, like largely book sales, and I do some amount of like audio post production for short films and other things that happen in LA. And so I'm in sort of a transition spot again where I'm going to be transitioning back into more vegan black metal chef stuff and more music stuff now that I can have my music stuff and video stuff all in the same roof.
And I think your voice was in a video game, right? You're a character in a video game.
Yeah. There's a virtual reality game you can get on Oculus Quest or the Rift called Swords of Gargantua. And I voiced this big tutorial series of video.
Yeah, I saw you posted, I think, on probably like Facebook or Instagram. I saw that. It was pretty cool. I'm like, that's Brian. And you've been in like you were saying, you were an extra, so you've been in like some TV shows and.
A bunch of random TV shows of Fresh Off the Boat, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Goldbergs, really just a ton. What
were you in? Like, did you have speaking roles or just were you in the background?
No. Those are all just background stuff.
Cool.
The only speaking roles I had were voiceover thing.
That's still pretty awesome. So are you still able to do any of that kind of stuff in Orlando?
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm looking to get all that stuff rolling now that I'm all set up here. I mean, I spent a lot of time just moving and getting set up, and looking to get that all rolling again. And yeah, we'll see where the world takes us.
Matthew wants to know what your music name is. It's Brian Manowitz, right?
No, it's Forever Dawn, actually. That's where
Forever Dawn.
That's where actually, but no, y'all can't see that, but my Skype name that I've connected with Chris is Forever Dawn, and y'all can't see that, but yeah, if he was wondering where my Skype name came from,
it's like Rod Stewart's Forever Young, but it's Forever Dawn. No, I'm just
yeah. When I first chosen the name, back in like 04 or so, I was doing Google searches on like a couple different names, and I was like, oh, awesome! There's like this one's totally free, and like on page like 10, there was some obscure author that had written some unpublished like novel called Forever Dawn, and guess who that obscure author just turned out to be a few years later?
J.K. Rowling
is Stephanie Meyer of the Twilight series.
Oh, close. The other one.
Yeah, pretty close. So I had a good laugh at that.
Yeah, that's kind of. Well, I don't really have anything else for you right now. I mean, if you have anything else you want to say, but we've gone over an hour now, so.
Yeah, no, that's all good, man. I'm actually getting hungry and about to go make that tofu stir fry.
Yeah, my dogs are getting hungry over here. So,
if you're wondering, it's the ramen noodle stir fry in the book. So if you got
that's what actually came to my head. I'm like, now I want to make something. The only thing I have right down is some ramen noodles, and I do have some tofu. So, you got me inspired to make something very similar. So. The
ramen noodles and tofu, you can't go wrong.
All right, everybody, go follow Brian if you're interested in any of his endeavors, any of the work he does over the Vegan Black Metal Chef. He's going to be doing more videos now, as he said. He's got his cookbook there. You can follow him also on Instagram, Facebook. Thank you for being on the show, Brian.
Thank you, man. Well, I guess one last thing. Janelle Jackson said, do you have any music recommendations? I've been listening to a lot of Wolves in the Throne Room, Merker, Kampfar. Those three. Check out those three.
Wolves in
Wolves in the Throne Room.
Throne Room. I never heard of them, but it sounds like something that I'll be doing in EverQuest later on Twitch.
I think actually you will really like Wolves in the Throne Room.
I'll look into it. I will definitely look into it.
All right.
All right. Thanks again. And,
great. Yeah.
And maybe we'll do this again soon too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely,
guys.
man.
All right. Take care, man.
All right. Bye.
And for everybody else, thank you for watching. I'm going to get going to feed my dogs, and I will see you guys in the next live stream. So have a great night, everybody. Watch out